I never wanted to be so wrong in my life. Written and narrated by Peter J. Merrick. I don't want to know. I don't want my hunch to be right. I never wanted to be so wrong in my life. Today I write because I feel I must. I write about something I can no longer ignore. I write because I know I owe this to my family, friends, community, and to humanity. I had a disturbing conversation with a friend this morning from my hometown of Toronto, Canada. I now live in San Diego for now, I say now, because is any place safe from the truth that I'm about to write about? My friend David shared with me that a mutual friend of ours went to bed last night and didn't wake up. His body was found cold and lifeless next to his wife. This morning, he had it all: a successful business, money, a mansion in Toronto, a beautiful cottage, and a place on the intercoastal of Florida. I know deep within me that his winter retreat in Florida killed him, because to spend time there during the lockdowns, for him to take a flight, he had to participate in the mass global experiment. He had material wealth, but now he is gone. I ask, were those trips worth the ultimate cost he paid today? Earlier this week, I spoke with a woman whose husband died several weeks ago. He hadn't told her he participated in the mass global experiment. He was a responsible man, making sacrifices for his family. He took part in the experiment 3 times to continue to work during the lockdowns. He felt forced to participate because he would have lost his license to practice. He developed what they call turbo cancer, a term I hadn't heard before 2021 when the mass global experiment was rolled out. He did what he thought was right for his family, but now he's gone and mourned. Just the other day, I was having a conversation with a young man. He told me his uncle suddenly collapsed and died this week. Up until that moment, his uncle appeared completely healthy. Quietly, each time I asked respectfully if these individuals that had told me of the passing of a loved one or friend who had died suddenly, if they had participated in the mass global experiment. I don't have to tell you the answer. You already know. The answer is almost always yes. The subtext of why I am writing this chapter in this very important book series, Rattled Awake, is that I know, but I don't want to know. We all know, but don't want to admit what's happening. I can choose to close my eyes to the reality faced by the 6 billion individuals who participated in the mass global experiment. But I know, we all know. Let's speak the truth now to each other. Have you heard of the book Cause Unknown by Edward Dowd? It's a gripping read that uncovers some unsettling information about certain medical interventions, often referred to as the jabs of the new soup. This book was so important in raising my awareness about the medical interventions since March 2020. Dowd and his colleagues had done some deep digging into the data. They analyzed the statistics on the significant increase in all-cause mortality since the introduction of these jabs. It's truly heart-wrenching. Shockingly, but not surprising, there was a disturbing and significant rise in the death rate among all age groups, with most deaths not attributed to any specific illness. So, I have no choice, and I have a deep, innate compulsion to write because I fear God more than I fear evil. We have no choice when you know your most precious asset is your soul, and you fear the infinite more than fearing evil or man. Thus, we need to call out the entities involved in developing and administering these jabs. But it's not just about anecdotes. There are hard facts and evidence of the significant increase in excess mortality rates among those who received the jabs of the new soup. What made Dowd's book even more powerful is that it amplifies the voices of survivors of adverse events and their families that died as a result of the jab. It even delved into the media's role in shaping public opinion and influencing the conversation around these interventions. I keep asking myself, what do I do with this knowledge? I don't want to be right, but I can't close my eyes anymore. It is my knowing that drives me to write and share these stories. It's time to take our heads out of the sand and come to terms with what has been done to humanity. Over the past few years, I have also learned a new term. It is the word democide. The definition means the planned murder of any person or people by their government. History provides chilling examples of democide. Hitler's Holocaust, Stalin's purges, Mao's Cultural Revolution, and the Khmer Rouge's killing fields. What makes us think democide won't or isn't happening again as you read this? Is it wishful thinking? We know what's happening, but too many of us don't want to know. We don't want to face the truth because admitting what was done forces us to confront some very frightening truths about our world and about ourselves. If we admitted what was done and what is occurring all around us, we'd have to act. Or even worse, we may have to admit that we are cowards or have been played as useful idiots. I understand why people don't want to ask the hard questions and choose to live in cognitive dissonance. It's easier to ignore the signs and continue as if nothing is wrong, but the truth is staring us right in the face. It refuses to be ignored. It's time to wake up to it before it is too late for all of us. The cognitive dissonance all around us is overwhelming. Cognitive dissonance is the mental discomfort experienced when holding two or more contradictory beliefs, values, or attitudes. It's what many of us feel when we see the evidence, yet refuse to accept the conclusions. This dissonance is a protective mechanism, a way to avoid the pain of realizing we might have been wrong, that we've been fooled, misled, or that the trust we placed in authorities was misplaced. When I heard about our mutual friend's sudden death, I didn't want to believe it. I don't want my hunches to be right. I hoped against hope that there was another explanation. But as more stories come to light, friends, acquaintances, and family members all following a similar pattern, the uncomfortable truth became impossible for me to ignore. For anyone that still remembers how to think, to ignore what is happening all around us. A responsible man takes the injections to keep his job and provide for his family, only to develop turbo cancer and die. Two others collapsed suddenly, appearing healthy until the moment of their deaths. These stories are becoming too frequent to dismiss as mere coincidences. This line of questioning is terrifying because it shakes the foundation of all that we had once trusted. Living in cognitive dissonance allows us to maintain the illusion of normalcy. It's less painful to believe that these deaths are isolated incidents, that our leaders are acting in our best interest, and that the sacrifices that billions made were for the greater good. But the evidence suggests otherwise, and we can't afford to keep our heads buried in the sand. It's time to confront the truth, no matter how uncomfortable it may be for each of us. If we continue to ignore what's happening, we allow the cycle of harm to continue. I write this because I have no choice. I can't remain silent any longer. I don't want to know the truth, but I can't deny it. We all know deep down that something is terribly wrong. If humanity survives, future generations are going to ask, why did so many remain silent to evil? It's time to face our fears, accept the reality, and take action. Are you going to be someone that stays silent against evil, or will you be the one that acts? Only then can we hope to prevent further suffering and loss. A simple truth emerges from the emotions and uplifting energies in the world. I believe there is still hope, and we will awaken from the controlled system. I am betting on you, humanity. As I mentioned at the beginning, I am from Canada. I would like to share what I observed during the Ottawa trucker rally in the winter of 2022. People discovered peace in unity. Amidst the chaos of the governmental narratives and the mainstream media portrayals, a collective of individuals vibrated at a frequency of love and connection, seemingly contradictory to the exterior portrayal of events. Since those events, I have pondered upon the wisdom set in the book Power versus Force by Dr. David R. Hawkins. It appears that higher frequencies such as love and peace stand as formidable opponents to lower frequencies, notably fear and manipulation, often exploited by powerful entities only because we have given our power over to them. These lower frequencies are tools to maintain control, to subdue and manipulate us into sleep. When fear permeates, divisiveness and conformity follow. The unity and peace experienced by rally attendees showcased a potential threat to any controlling entity, a unified elevation of the collective consciousness. It's a phenomenon that, if spread, could have potentially dissolved the artificially constructed separateness and ushered in an awakening for human consciousness and ushered in a new renaissance for humanity 1.0. While speculative and unverified, this perspective nudges me to dissect the intricacies of the global narratives and their potential to maneuver the collective psyche. It caused me to recognize our spiritual essence, our capability to emit higher frequencies, and to decipher the different ways we as individuals and we as a collective are nudged towards lower vibrational experiences by unseen powers that benefit from our separateness and warring. We are much more than we have been taught we are. It is time to know this truth. I don't want to know. I don't want my hunch to be right. I never wanted to be so wrong in my life, but I do know I write because I can't remain silent, but I know that if I do remain silent and do nothing, I will not be able to look my children or any child in the eye with my self-respect if I choose to do nothing. What about you? Are you going to remain asleep or are you going to act? Remember, courage is contagious. Peter J. Merrick.